Well, hello. It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the week. And I'm in Bismarck, North Dakota, so it's also a Pens on the Road. So I took some footage while I was walking around. Went for a walk, I thought, at 5 this morning, which is kind of a thing I do. But I forgot I'm at Central Time, so it was actually 6 o'clock, but it was still pitch dark. And right now it is 7:20 and the sun is just barely beginning to rise, and I am not used to that. 7:20 is fully bright where I live, but it's an hour later, so, because I live in Mountain Time. But anyway, let's take a look at some pens, then we'll take a look at Bismarck. Alright, so these are the pens and inks I've been using this week. I'm cheating a little bit. I am actually in my living room filming this part because I looked at the weather and I saw it's going to be really cold. Well, not really cold, but cold enough to where I'll be losing the feeling in my fingers when I finally get around to filming the writing part in Mandan. So I decided I'm going to film the film part here in my nice warm living room. We'll film the rest of it in Mandan. So anyway, from left to right, I have a Reform 4000, which came up in this week's review. It is first, and the pen I reviewed this week, the Senator Long Ink Window, is second, mainly because of the inks that are in each one. You'll see what I mean when I start writing. I have a Cora, Aurora style, so I had a regular viewer who commented about how he likes to see Aurora pens, so you've got one. I have a Platinum Izumo. I have a Lamy 2000. Pedicon M1000. Centropen 10016. Centropen 1320. And a Sailor 1911. Not the big one, whatever that makes it. As always, I'll be doing my writing samples in this cognitive surplus notebook. Okay, I might complain about the limited preview on my camcorder, but my god, this is miserable. I've got a 1.25 by 3/4 inch preview of this. But anyway, this is my Reform 4000. Nice green pen. Kind of classy looking. Definitely you can tell what era it's from. Definitely from the 70s. And it has a Reform nib. So the Reform 4000. The ink in it, kind of fun, is Colorverse. Interstellar Space. And fun fact, I just used up the last of it tonight. Because, yeah, I just inked this pen up because the pen that was supposed to be in this spot ran dry while I was writing with it this evening. And I just oh. So I inked this one up and, ran out this bottle. I liked some of the colors in this particular, came as a set of 4 inks. This one was just meh. It's an okay green, but not amazing. And, when I think Interstellar Space, I just think black. And it's definitely not black. Alright, this week I reviewed the Senator Long Ink Window. So, like many of Senator's pens, I'm just stuck making up names. But it has a really long ink window. And it has a vintage Bach nib. So I might actually be out of reviews. Usually I try to have a batch, always ready. That way I'm not surprised. And usually I can make them like a month or two ahead. And I can make sure I film the me talking part and the writing part at different times. So that, you get a little feedback on this is what I think of it now. But I think I let it go too long because I've been waiting to get that camcorder repaired and I haven't. So the next couple of the next couple of pen videos might be a bit iffy. But anyway, the ink in this one is Diamine Damson. Which is sort of a nice off purple. I like it. In the right pen, I like it. A lot of pens you write and it just looks like a black with, maybe a hint that I'm an exotic black color. But, this pen I'm definitely seeing the purple aspect of it. It's a dark purple, dusky dark, but it is a purple. So far I've actually been really enjoying it in this pen. Now, for a few weeks I made a confusion. In fact, I refilled this pen to make sure I could make this comparison. So this is a Cora, a Dutch pen of the 1950s. And it's filled with an ink that I was calling Diamine Damson for a few weeks until I realized, oopsie, yeah, that's not what it is. So the Cora has a much more purple aspect to it. This has Krishna, Writer's Night, which I was, a number of years ago, I sent a number of samples of Krishna inks. I loved several of them. Something Jungle, I don't remember what it was called. Anyway, I'm not going to remember all the names, but Kanakona was another one. I just found several of them that I just like, wow, those are great colors. And this is one of those colors. I just really liked this ink. I'm still working through the samples. The bag of samples is getting emptier, but it's still got a long ways to go. But thank you. I have been enjoying those samples. I'm just so slow. Alright, this pen is an Aurora style, so I had Sajjad Hussein asked about Aurora, and so I thought, let's get one up. Not maybe the first Aurora people think about, but I just love the looks of this pen. It's very retro, and yet kind of timeless. Has a steel nib. I think Aurora makes their own steel nibs as well as their own gold nibs. But anyway, Aurora style. So one thing, European manufacturers, their broads tend to be, well, any of their nibs tend to be on the broad side. This one isn't. So this is Deachamentus Apple Blossom. You might be able to smell it through the camera. It has kind of a floral scent. I won't say it's authentically apple blossom, but it is kind of a floral scent, so I'm digging that. Scented inks are kind of fun. I only own a few. I worry about what they'll do to the pen. Is it oils or what's making the scent? But anyway, it's kind of it doesn't really do anything to the person you're writing to. It's just one of those pleasures that you as the user get to enjoy. Last week, so hopefully I fixed my lighting situation enough. Last week I showed you this Platinum Izumo. This camera is god-awful. It's meant for showing documents. It's not meant for what I'm doing with it. But anyway, very, very nice pen. Beautiful artwork on it. One of those pens bought by this channel. And, just not only a wonderful reward for doing these videos, but something I enjoy sharing. So, Platinum Izumo. So this last week I compared this ink to another gray. We found that this one was a bit more on the brown side. The other one was more of a bluish gray. But I enjoy both. I prefer the other one. This one I probably won't replace when I use it up. but it is Iroshizuku. Kiri-same. And I will concede that if you're in this hobby, it is likely, not necessarily true, but likely that you have also become an ink addict and you have way more bottles of ink than you will ever need for your entire life. Guilty. So I'm working on using them up. It's going to take a while, but if I think about color families, that makes it a bit easier. So, I've got one more bottle of gray ink after I use this one up. And then I'll be free to buy the bottle of gray ink that I like. Meanwhile, you can kind of see in the hash marks right here, what the cursive italic thing does. It's very broad on the upstrokes and very fine on the cross strokes. My next pen, as you better get used to in the winter, during the school year, is my constant companion, my Lamy 2000. I was listening to Hemingway Jones. He was raving about the Pilot Custom 823, which is a wonderful pen. But there is a reason I picked the Lamy 2000 to be my pen that I carry with me everywhere. First of all, it doesn't look like much. Writes very well. It's just a well-engineered pen. I will concede that the Pilot Custom 823 writes better, but the thing that gives this pen the advantage is it's a slip cap. So I just pull the cap off and boom, I'm writing. And so for, in my job, that makes it a very good pen. Does it take that long to unscrew the cap from a Pilot Custom 823? No. But this pen just seems more suited to my world. Now, long writing session, I won't care, but a lot of what I do is not long writing sessions, at least during the workday. I present to you the Pelikan M1000. Very classy pen. And I really enjoy the ink in it. Fun fact, the ink in it has a smell because it's sailor ink. It always makes me think of the library in Olean, New York. Not the library that's there, but the library that was there long, long ago. It was in like an old house or something, and I remember animal heads on the wall. And for some reason I remember a dark green carpet somewhere. Or maybe it was dark green felt, I don't know. But anyway, whenever I smell this ink, those memories come back. So I don't know if there was a cleaner there that smelled sort of like this, or hell, who knows? I would have been 4 the last time I was in that place. I could be totally making it up from something totally not the Olean Public Library. But anyway, this smell definitely evokes a very specific place in my memory, whatever that place is, which I think is the Olean Public Library, but I don't know that. But this happens to be one of my favorite of Sailor's inks. My next pen is the lovely, lovely, lovely Centropen 10016, which was actually given to me by a viewer in Pennsylvania. Can't remember what it was he didn't like about it, but anyway, he gave it to me, and I'm very grateful. I love my Centropens. I definitely have that soft spot for Toes Pencala because learning the story of the founders of the company just gave me a huge soft spot for them. But Centropen is really what got me into the pens from behind the Iron Curtain. Not with this pen, it was with a different one, but turns out a lot of them are very good. So the ink in this one is Iroshizuku. Asa-gao. Just a Just a nice blue, nothing special about it, just nice. I think it's attractive. Darker blue. All their inks actually have meaning. The Asa-gao isn't saying dark blue, it's associating it with something in Japan. I want to say this one's associated with some kind of a flower, but I can't remember which one. I like the Iroshizuku inks. One time I thought, it'd be nice to have all of them, and those would be my inks, but the wide world of inks is so much more interesting than just that, so I abandoned that idea eventually. This is another Centropen. This is a Centropen 1320. Just a plain black finish. Oops, that's a slip cap, and I forgot that. So I started to take it apart. Something very, communist block about the nib, the way that nib looks. So Centropen 1320. The ink in it is Rohrer and Klingner. Blue Mare. Make sure I get my spelling right here. And it's just a very nice turquoise ink. I recently used up my Iroshizuku turquoise. I've got this one and two others that are turquoise also to use up. And then I'll have to figure out which one's my favorite. I'm not seeing a lot of difference right now. But I like the color. And my last pen. This is Beautiful Sailor. I have mentioned I'm working on downsizing the collection. I want to do some sales soon. I'm going to be selling most of my sailors. This is one that I'm keeping. I enjoy the nib on this one. And I remember the advertising for this one. It was, this pen with citrus fruit. And so I almost always want a bright orange ink in it. So that's what I have for you today. This is a Sailor 1911. Has a zoom nib, which is a fancy way of saying if I hold it at different angles, you get different nib widths. So the ink in this one is Iroshizuku. Fuyu-gaki. Which is just a really nice bright orange. My adjectives gave me a little struggle bus there. But there we go. Beautiful. So anyway, those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. And like I said, I am in my living room as I filmed this part, because I saw that when I would be able to film this part, it was going to be flipping cold. And I didn't want to lose feeling in my fingers as I sat there I wanted to sit in a park in Mandan. Well, I was actually torn between a park in Mandan and a park in Bismarck. But I just thought, that early in the morning, neither one's going to be all that nice. So, whoops, I just kicked my light. So what I will do is I'll film the walking around parts, because I can stick my hands in my pockets or whatever, and even wear gloves and warm up. So, anyway, the rest of this is authentically on location. I just decided to cheat on this part. So those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. Now let's see what Bismarck looks like at 5 in the morning. I was staying at the Radisson, and I was trying to use a lapel mic at this first bit, so I've cut out the audio because the lapel mic disconnected right away. So this is how you park in the Radisson. Low ceilings, very tight quarters, very uncomfortable. And I'll show you where I parked, just a little bit further down here. But I don't like it. So my car, again, tight quarters, right beside a pillar. Yeah. So all in all, oh, there's a car covered with dust. I think it's been there a while. So that's awkward. I didn't want to film him and embarrass him, but there's a guy in a huge pickup and he's having huge trouble in there. So all kinds of trouble here with my lapel mic and now using my laptop as a microphone. I miss my Blue Yeti. But anyway, so let's take a walk around Bismarck. One of the things I noticed right away was these scooters parked all over. And I don't know if you can rent them. Do you just leave them? I don't understand. Then there's this really cool parking garage, which is kind of a spirally ramp. But first, we'll look at this entrance. It looks like it might be a little easier to go up than the one where I was parked. It was after I looked down this alley with the cool artwork that I realized that, hey, I don't think the lapel mic is recording anything. Here's another one of these scooters. I've just given up on using my lapel mic. Apparently that doesn't stay connected, so done with that. Got stores downtown Bismarck. I actually really enjoy walking around my town about this time of the morning, but I just realized it's Central Time here, so I'm actually walking here at 6. So I'm not as early as I thought. That's new. This is kind of a classy restaurant, Peacock Alley. Very tall building. We don't have anything like this in my town. The walk sign just told me I could walk. I didn't walk, or I didn't wait for it because, it's not like anybody was going to drive up that street. Used to be able to buy Mexican food. They had a Mexican restaurant, really cool Mexican restaurant in that place. The old depot in Bismarck. Train still goes by it just doesn't stop anymore. The restaurant is now defunct. It was going downhill toward the end, so I knew it was coming, but it was sad. They had a nice backyard. I don't know if you heard that. They had a nice backyard where you could eat. Nice apartment building lobby. Very nice looking lobby. Ooh. I don't even know what this is. Oh, architects. There was a time in my life when I thought it would be kind of fun to be a residential architect, but then I learned more about the profession. I'm just like, no. If you have some vision and some money, you could start some businesses in this. I guess there is a business here, but I can't. Oh, well, no sign, so it must be bought. Now I'm allowed to walk. I'm actually walking with the walk sign because there's no signage here. Zimmerman's across the street. It's a big furniture store. I think there's several of them around. There's another parking garage because, of course, it's America. We gotta worship our cars. I guess I shouldn't complain because how did I get here? But it'd be nice if I could have ridden the train and then taken a train or a bus to where I'm going, but guess not. Got Flex, an appliance store. I can't read what the thing next to it is. And then a crab apple, whatever that is. We'll see what the video's like, but I'm kind of liking this filming at night. J&R vacuum store. We're kind of running toward the end of the interesting pedestrian part of it. You got Stella's. Whatever that is. Got hiccups. Wonder if that's a bar. Nope. Looks like another part of Stella's almost. Clothing and junk. Down Home General Store in Bismarck. Yeah, right. I think they're all the same business. And we've got Up and Running Design Company. You know, I'd have to give up the garden, but it would be kind of fun to live downtown. Just be able to walk to everything. Except in Bismarck, I couldn't walk to a grocery store real easily. So I'd still need a car. Here's a noodle zip, but here's a problem. Just like a lot of businesses nationwide, they are struggling to get people. Maybe at $7.50 I get that. Here's an urgent update. This place has been in the news, so they're gonna have to close until September 18th due to employee shortage. And the owner says, I myself have been working in the restaurant for 15 plus years. This is the single hardest time to maintain employees, to keep them in their position. We apologize for the delay in opening back with a new menu, and we are truthfully sorry for your inconvenience. So this is their menu. Actually, some of that looks good. And more about the short-staffed thing. And I've thought after, I could retire from teaching at 60 if I want. Well, before 60, before my retirement benefits, now I have to wait till I'm 60. Might be kind of fun to work at a place like that, but need benefits. So that's kind of a neat old historical site. They've got an old church, steam engine, and then another older building. I can't remember what it means, but also at 6, whatever it is, a.m., I'm not going to go in there in the dark, get the police called on me. I wonder if I walked into a used car lot here. I don't see any signage. Maybe it's just a garage. So that's on purpose, right? Tell me that's on purpose. Alleys are cool. Some more fun alley art. More of these scooters. They have to be for rent somewhere. Just another business. It looks like a nice, stop walking, squirrel. Looks like a nice dress place, and with men's clothes. Wedding? Imagine just a fancy dress store. It's Bismarck. Got a Brady Marts, whatever that is. Okay, step back. So Brady Marts is a make every day count. Tell me he's not just an accountant. Gonna protect our basement entrance here. Too. Whatever's down there, but I see plants growing, so it can't be too prosperous. And another fun alley with a walkway between buildings. That's cool. See, now this, I'll bet there are, oh yeah, see, I'm right. All kinds of businesses. Yeah, some more businesses. So there's a little reality of small town life, although this is a city. If you don't support your local businesses, they're not going to be there. Seen that happen. 2 of the small towns I lived in lost their grocery store because, we can just drive to Bismarck, we can drive to Minot and get groceries, and whoopsie, you can't get them locally. My small town has a real nice grocery store still, but it can happen. Post office, and I just saw 2 people walk up that way, so I'm not the only one out walking at 6:30 in the morning now. Now this business is called URL Radio, whatever that means. Here lies Beetlejuice, if you remember that movie. And your dog's favorite band is going to be here. Just another fun alley. Like I said, I enjoy alleys. And we're looking at a mural or something. So I'm guessing this has to do with a bar or restaurant. You know, the rules about public drinking and stuff. This is probably their outdoor seating. I'm not sure for what, but you know, it's totally enclosed. So one of the bars in my town, two of the bars in my town have a outdoor drinking area, kind of a patio, and then they have to enclose it. So this is the Toasted Frog. Oh, he's toasted. Noel's Jewelry is closing. And the street is closing up ahead, so I'm going to go uphill. Used to be kind of obnoxious coming down this way. Part of the way would be two-way, and then it would turn to one-way, and then it would turn back into two-way traffic again. I hear a car alarm going off. That would be a downside of living in town. So I want a well-insulated apartment with good soundproofing. But anyway, yeah, they've improved downtown Bismarck a lot. It used to be 2 lanes either way on the street we were walking on, and it's kind of cold out. I can hear my voice. I'm kind of slurring because that's what I do when I'm cold. But anyway, might have frozen again. We had a hard freeze last night. A Bath bakery. Interesting. Oh yay, Fox. I don't do network news at all. I guess unless you count NPR. I don't do much NPR either. The Economist is more my speed. Once a week. And get a different perspective than you get here. And then just randomly whatever I hit through the week. They're big enough to have a gold and silver exchange. If you're into that kind of thing. Buy gold. It's worth more than cash. Another business going out. You know, that's always a thing. They do go in and out. You never always know why. Dakota nuts and candy. I guess as a squirrel, I should like the nuts. I don't really like sweet stuff. No public restrooms. And a Hunkies. Bismarck's unique little boutique. Oh, that's kind of fun. Air conditioner's running, so it must be toasty in there. So this is the old Bismarck Tribune building. I don't know exactly where they're headquartered now. They've been bought up. Everything is kind of part of a bunch of newspapers here in Bismarck are owned by the same people. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. There's a concrete daisy flower shop back there. And, oh, that's what Bismarck looked like when they built the state capitol building. I think in the 30s. That's actually a cool visit to go to the state capitol building. It's a very Art Deco, and actually, it's really nice. And even today, you can just walk right in. Nice thing with nobody up, doing all kinds of jaywalking. Have here a Gartner's Capital Shoe Hospital. They do a lot of shoe repair here. I've owned 1 or 2 pairs of shoes that were of the quality that they were worth repairing. For the most part, I can't even buy that kind of shoe, or they're so expensive, so I end up buying cheaper shoes that you can't really repair. So that's kind of a dying business. I don't know about this one to be specific, but there used to be a store in my town that would repair shoes and boots and things, and then now they're no longer there. Should have plugged in my phone last night, down to 20% battery. But this here is Bismarck's Presbyterian Church. I'd be interested to see the inside. You know, it looks like a very modern kind of building. But I'm down to 10% battery now. I gotta stop filming. Damn it, I came up a block to get around this. I guess I have to go up another block. Sanford, if you can't read the sign, is buying up all kinds of hospitals in North and South Dakota. They're actually a Catholic thing. So, you know, women's health care is questionable, and I don't like religion being mixed with health care. I'm just uncomfortable with that. I want science mixed with health care. Well, I guess it's still editorial. On another note, oh, this is another parking garage. Just realized that. It's always interesting to walk by a hospital and see all the employees outside smoking. Battery is in the red, but we're back to that fancy parking garage. Red Wing shoes and some other stuff. And I'm back to my motel. Thought I'd get some exercise on the stairs, but I couldn't find them. I know they're here, but because yeah, walking and filming video isn't exercise. So kind of sad that the lapel mic didn't stay connected after the first time I shut off the cell phone, but such is life. But I got to do a walk around Bismarck, even if it wasn't my usual kind of walk. And I like walking early in the morning. You see it differently, and of course I'd look like I'm wearing pajamas. But anyway, it's yeah, just a good time to get out. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour of Bismarck. I thought about it and I realized if I'm going to include footage of United Tribes and University of Mare, that means I'm going to have to drive out there and I'm going to have to edit that footage in, and that means this video is going to be delayed, and I don't want to do that. So we'll see how much time I have. I've got a cross-country meet I'm going to. I might get out there. We'll see. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And when do you walk? During the day? At night? Early like I just did? Let us know down in the comments. So we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.